Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hello and welcome once again to another quick shot review, the dedicated movie channel for Cheap Shot Entertainment. As ever, I am your host Luke, and you are the Cheap Shot Nation, and we have been to see a new film that has come out very recently in the cinema, and it's a bit of a treat in my book. This one does everything that I absolutely wanted it to do, and added extra things in. If you're going into this film thinking that it's going to be a full-on stabby horror movie, then go in with a clear mind, because it is definitely not that. But it does have an interesting story, and it is Knock at the Cabin, a 2023 released film by M. Night Shyamalan, who also makes a cameo during the film. So if you want to hear my thoughts, join me for the main part of the video. And don't forget to like and subscribe. So, as mentioned, Knock at the Cabin is a M. Night Shyamalan film, and as a director, he is controversial, shall we say. He's very hit and miss with a lot of people. I, on the other hand, love his work. I love The Village, The Visit, and a lot of his other things, which I can't bring to mind right about now, which makes me sound really silly, but ho hum, we're talking about Knock at the Cabin. It stars Dave Bautista in perhaps his most interesting role to date, because he's not playing a muscle-bound man who smashes things and beats things up like Drax or some of his other characters that he's played, but rather a gentle giant in this one, and he's depicted as a caring, loving person who is revealed to be something that you would not expect, breaking down that wall of, you see this big guy, you think he's gonna like snap a neck or something like that, but he didn't. And yeah, that definitely caught me off guard. And then you add in Rupert Grint as well. Ron freaking Weasley. We haven't seen him for a good long time because he's got married, had a couple of kids. He's finally back in the movies, and we see him back, and it's good to see him back. And again, playing a role that we would not necessarily expect him to be playing, but he does. He plays it really well. And alongside those two mainstays, you've got Jonathan Groff playing Eric, Nikki Amuka Bird playing Sabrina, Ben Aldridge playing Andrew. He is the partner of Eric. Abby Quinn playing Adrienne. Christine Chu playing Wen, the little girl in the story, daughter of the two chaps that we just mentioned, Andrew and Eric, who are obviously a same-sex couple. And briefly get stints from Andrew's mom, Andrew's father, to give you an idea of what they think about the relationship, and it is a troubled story. But throughout all of it, the main overriding storyline throughout all of this is their genuine love as a family for each other, and that's it's portrayed really, really well. This film was not a chore to watch at all. It was beautifully shot. The setting was really nice. It is always difficult to review a film that's based in one setting, and it is, apart from bits that are shown on the telly to further the story. But I say we do get a M Night Shyamalan cameo, which he usually does in all of his films anyway, and we get that during one of the newscasts. So, and you've even got, they're taking a bit out of Shaun of the Dead, because you've got a BBC newscast on there as well, which I thought was really fun. Like I say, the director is M. Night Shyamalan. He wrote the screenplay along with Steve Desmond and Michael Sherman, and between them they did a really good job. Now, this film hasn't got a lot of love by any means, but I actually really liked it. It's quite deep. It's based on the novel The Cabin at the End of the World, and it's really good. And like I say, some people do not like this. I thought this was really good. It was a good take on the standard apocalypse film, where every action had a reaction to it, and I really liked that. I thought it was really good. So the basic premise of the film is that the family are vacationing. They go to a isolated cottage or a cabin in the woods, and like I always say, what bad could happen in a cabin in the woods? And they get held hostage by four armed strangers who've had visions to create these eccentric weapons to carry out this prophecy that they've been asked to carry out. So you get the basic idea. These people, the family, they need to make a choice, and that choice would be a sacrifice to make sure that other people don't suffer in the world. It wasn't directly mentioned, apart from one very small scene where they're going to adopt their daughter, and it is Eric that is the Christian of the couple, and there's a lot of sort of social commentary on that, but throughout it does have biblical references in it. Again, I'm not religious. I didn't go to churches. I was educated in a sort of school that followed Christianity, but apart from learning it in religious studies, it's not something that I've ever picked up. But I do like the stories told within the Bible, and a lot of them do have some good to them, and they're very entertaining. And the story of the apocalypse, the Book of Revelations, is one of the most interesting ones. So for M. Night Shyamalan to pick up a lesser known part of the law is quite cool, actually. Well, like I say, it is based on a book, so it was inevitable that it was going to be really cool. And he goes goes on to create another child star as well, which is even more brilliant. And the Paul Tremblay, The Cabin at the End of the World, his book is perhaps one that I might even pick up, to be honest. So there you go. So yeah, would I recommend that you go and watch this film? Absolutely. Don't go in thinking it's a horror movie, because it definitely is not a horror movie. It is a psychological thriller. It does have a little bit of gore in it, but it always pans away because it is a 15, and obviously they can't show it. They do show a little bit, but not a lot. And yeah, it's a good film. It is a really good film. It's well put together. It's not too long either. It's an hour 40. Yeah, that's the other film I was thinking about. Signs. I do like Signs as well, which is an M. Night Shyamalan film, which is good. Anyway, so yeah, it's a good film. I would recommend you go and watch it. Go in with an open mind. It is very much more of a disaster movie than a horror movie. It's got those elements to it, but you do see some progression in characters from some very well-known actors here in Dave Bautista and Rupert Grint. So for that alone, it's well worth a watch. Anyway, that is the end of this review. So if you're listening to us on Spotify, thank you very much for joining us there. If you're listening to this on YouTube and you've got the nice background, thank you very much. Make sure you do the YouTube stuff and follow the channel. It helps us out a lot, and it always helps to know that you guys are still with us. You know, it keeps me going. We've got plenty more to come on Quick Shot Reviews before the end of this month, certainly. We've got Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. We've got Pearl booked as well, coming up in March. I think that's middle of March, actually, because it's a preview. So I'm looking forward to that one, the prequel to X. Good film if you've not seen it. And yeah, I'm sure there's other things in between as well. Okay, yeah, we've got Ant-Man as well. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantuma? Mazuma? Mobile? I don't know. All these Marvel films are kind of doing my head in. But finally, they have released a trailer for The Flash. So if you haven't seen that, go and watch that, because it is pretty damn cool. And on that note, I will see you next time. Keep watching your films, movie fans. And remember, you are the Cheap Shot Nation. I'm your host, Luke. And goodbye.